Hey guys, welcome to Matt Does Stuff. Today is my Christmas episode. So to celebrate Christmas, I thought I'd make some Christmas decorations to decorate my house. Specifically these guys. So as always, I'll be showing you the processes I went through to make those and all the things that are involved in that. But as always, before I start, let's pop over to the kitchen where today I'm obviously smoking Christmas turkey. Hey guys, welcome to the kitchen. So today, because it's Christmas, I'm obviously smoking turkey. So here I've got a couple of big turkey drumsticks. They've been in a brine overnight, which looked a bit like this. So this is just a simple brine of salt, brown sugar, bay leaves and peppercorns, just dissolved in water while the sugar and the salt is dissolved in water. And then I covered this and refrigerated it for about 17 hours maybe before I cooked it. And then I've patted those dry with a bit of kitchen towel. And I'm also, to go with it, cooking some Brussels sprouts. I'll be doing those on the smoker as well, but I'll be wrapping those in bacon, because sprouts wrapped in bacon, smoked next to the turkey, probably going to taste better than just Brussels sprouts on their own. So, although these have been brining, I am going to put a rub on these. So the rub I've got today is some brown sugar, paprika, garlic powder and black pepper. So I'm just going to rub these up. So with these sprouts, I'm just going to be wrapping them in bacon and then I'll put a bit of sweet maple bones and butts on them, just to give them a bit of flavour while they're smoking on the barbecue. So just wrapping those up and trying to tuck those in as best I can. What I should have done was buy some cocktail sticks, but I didn't, so I'm hoping that these will stay together on the barbecue. If they don't, then I'll just be eating bits of bacon with sprouts rather than wrapped. So I'm just applying a bit of rub now. Okay, so these are now ready for the smoker. So I'm going to get these on. The turkey will be on for about, I don't know, 2 hours maybe, until it reaches a temperature of around 74, 75 internal in the thickest part. And these will be on until that is done and the bacon is crispy. Hey guys, so the materials I'm going to be using today are some leftover scrap 18mm plywood. So I had loads of this leftover when I built my tool wall. So you can see my tool wall behind me at the top of every show. That's a French cleat tool wall, and when I was cutting the plywood for that to hang my tools on, I cut way too much of it. I think maybe I was thinking about the workshop I'd like to have rather than the workshop I've got. So I'm going to be using up some of that. I actually did a lot of this in the week because it actually takes a lot of gluing, but let's walk you through the process. So I've cut the pieces down to width. I'm going to now put them in between my parallel clamps and glue them together. What I've got is them all turned on their edge, so you can see the edge grain of the plywood. This one, or this set, I'm doing flat, so I can just get a sort of checkerboard effect. And this one I'm gluing up so that I can take 45-degree strips off of this, and that'll give me the chevron effect that I'm looking for when I glue that up. So I'm going to get those glued, and then I'll probably leave those until tomorrow now. So I've moved the glue ups from the clamps. I'm just going to clean these up with the sander, the orbital sander, before I take them to the table saw and do some repeat cuts on them. So I'm going to be cutting this at 45 degrees in my crosscut sled. In order to do that, I'm just chopping this bit of plywood down using the miter gauge on the table saw, just so I can have a 45-degree guide that I can clamp in my crosscut sled. So this is the setup. I've got the 45-degree angle clamped to the edge of the crosscut. I've got my stop set up, and I've got the piece in there, and I'll be holding that well away from the blade, and I'll be running some cuts through. Let's see how that goes. So I've cut all the pieces on the table saw, but some of the original joins didn't work. So instead of gluing them up how I was planning on gluing them up, I'm going to try and glue them up in these Christmas tree shapes. Well, they were going to be Christmas trees anyway, but I'm going to try and glue them up like this. So as well as the Christmas trees, I've made a couple of these stars out of some of the offcuts. I'm going to stick these together with a bit of miter fast. I want something this quick setting. I'll also be using a bit of wood glue in there just to give it a bit of extra strength, but I think they look quite good. So with the miter fast, I am spraying 1/2 with the accelerant, and I'm going to let that evaporate. I'm going to put a tiny bit of wood glue on the other half. Oh. And that's what's going to give the join some strength. And then I'm applying the miter fast glue on top of the wood glue, and that'll give me the hold and the sort of clamp effectively. So bring those together and hold for around about 10 seconds. The miter fast sets really quickly. There we go. So that's now set, and then I'll just let the wood glue dry naturally. Okay, so I've got these clamped up as best I can. I am going to leave those for a few hours. I'll come back and see what they look like. So I've taken the Christmas trees out of the clamps, although they look a bit more like rockets than trees, but I was hoping that the grain on the plywood would look a bit more like Christmas pines. Maybe I needed a bit more definition around the top, but overall pretty pleased with the way they're looking so far. I've just marked out where I'm going to cut for the trunk and the bottom of the tree on all of these. So what I'm going to do is cut those out, and then because these are quite thick, and in order for me to get a couple more, I'm just going to cut these in half that way, using one of my Japanese pool saws just to get a couple of extra trees. So with the Christmas tree sliced down to the right width, I'm now going to get to sanding them. Okay, so I've got my Christmas trees and the stars all sanded up. What I'm going to do is just drill a few holes in the tops of the trees and somewhere on the stars so that I can thread them onto some wire to make some bunting. Okay, so I've drilled the holes. For a finish, I'm going to go with Danish oil on all of them, and once that's dry I'll be putting a clear bry wax on these just to give them a nice sheen, and a dark oak on these just to give them a bit of differentiation when I put them on the string. So at this point these would probably make a couple of nice tree ornaments, probably put some ribbons on it, but what I'm actually going to do is mount them on some picture wire and make some bunting out of them. So I've got all the Christmas decorations strung together. At the moment they're just hung on my tools obviously, but I'm going to go and hang these in the house and display them somewhere a bit more appropriate. Okay, so I've got my barbecue running at 130 degrees C. The turkey legs are on. I've actually decided to put the sprouts on a bit later once these have cooked a little bit. And yeah, I'm just going to put the lid back on. We'll see these later. Okay, so we're at 76 inside the turkey legs. So I'm going to get these off and see what they taste like. Hey guys, end of another day here on Matt Does Stuff. Today I have made some Christmas decorations. They turned out really well. And I've also smoked myself some turkey legs and some bacon covered Brussels sprouts. So let's see what they taste like. I think I'm going to go in with a Brussels sprout first. They look good. Definitely better than your average Brussels sprout. Now I'm going to try one of these turkey legs. I look like I'm holding court somewhere, but let's have a look. That is tender and juicy, really good smoky flavour. That brine has made that extra juicy. Oh yeah, that is some good turkey. I'm going to be pairing this with beer. So tonight I've got a Brewdog Jet Black Heart, which is a nitro milk stout. Let's see what this tastes like. Oh yeah, that is good. Right, I'm going to get amongst this. You have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And remember, stay safe and get some stuff done.